Hey everybody, welcome back to Terps Esports. Live from College Park, my name is Lily.
And my name is Hayden. We are super excited to welcome you back to the studio for another match. It's finally starting to warm up outside too, but your Terps on the co-ed premier team are already on fire tonight.
Tonight, the Terps are facing off against Rowan Gold from Rowan University in Glassboro, New Jersey as part of the Play vs. Premier League. Last week, we saw the Terps play against Washington in the BEC, but here in Play Versus, we are only in week 2 of competition, so it's a fresh playing field for the Terps here tonight, especially considering because this match was actually supposed to happen last week, but has gotten rescheduled tonight. So both teams are 0-0 heading into tonight.
Before we jump into the game, let's quickly go over the rules and layout of tonight's match. For those that are new, Valorant is a tactical shooter where teams of 5 players strategically choose a combination of agents to best their opponents in 2 12-round cycles. The goal of each round is to either down all of your opponents on the opposing team or to plant and defuse the spike based off of whatever side you're on. There are currently 28 different playable agents in the game with 7 maps in the competitive pool, so the options are endless, and your Terps tonight have spent quite a while figuring out which composition works the best on each map. Moving on, tonight's tournament setting is a best of 3, which means these teams will play a minimum of 2 games and a maximum of 3.
All right, now that everyone has a good understanding of the game, let's jump right into the action. We'll introduce you to the members of the team and take a look at their individual roles and stats. And this will give us a good idea of where our Terps stand heading into tonight's match.
Starting off strong, we have our duelist Yex. He has notoriously been a crucial part to this team in that entry role. We have seen throughout his career all the ways that he can manipulate the duelist role to create new possibilities that we probably just never would see before. Coming in with his stats, he's got an ACS of 243, an ADR of 156, and a KDA of 1.33.
All right, next on the roster is ZK1. ZK1 is the team's controller, so you'll probably see him on Smokes tonight. He was a great addition to this team last semester, and we expect nothing less for the spring. He's got an ACS of 280, which is actually the highest of his team, an ADR of 173, and a KD of 1.3. And having a controller player like ZK1 who uses their util effectively and at the same time can get tons of kills is a huge asset to this team.
Next up, we have the team's initiator, Sin. It takes a lot of brains to play Recon at such a high level, but he's like the Einstein of getting that information. He's got an ACS of 185, an ADR of 123, and a KDA of 0.82.
Now we have Jinho. Jinho is the team's flex player, and he's great at filling in wherever the team may need him, depending on specific map selection or agent pool. He's got an ACS of 178, an ADR of 119, and a KD of 0.86.
Last but not least, we had the team's sentinel, Moose. Moose is the fortress of this team, protecting the sites and keeping as much map space as possible. He's bringing a lot to the table here with an ACS of 183, an ADR of 120, and a KD of 0.89. Speaking of bringing something to the table, I'm bringing Moose here with me to this table for an interview tonight. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. So I just want to kind of pick your brain for a minute. So Vito, he's been out for quite a while, probably a few months since I guess October.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are starting to use him, in ranked games, but even in pro scene and like VCT. So I just want to pick your brain as a Sentinel player. Like, where do you think Vito stands with all the other agents? Like, what do you see his use in?
I think he's a very unique Sentinel, and he has a very good job, or he does a good job of like stopping rushes with his signature ability that just destroys all utility. So I think he creates a very fun Sentinel to play.
So like he's got a lot of this negation util in the defense, but the attack side is something completely different. So where do you see? Like, explain to me how you would play if you were to play Vito in like a ranked match. Yeah. What would you prioritize?
I would honestly just lurk a lot, and then his interceptor is really good for the retake too. So it's like you're playing defense and attack, and he just is super strong in that sense.
Got it. That does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So moving forward, being this is a new season in the Play versus League, what are you looking forward to most?
Just competing. I love competing, so I think it's nice to have a good, clean slate and just start competing again.
Great. I love to hear that. Now, there's been kind of a little bit of speculation with a new cinematic that Riot released just a few days ago. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
I have.
But a lot of the fan base thinks it could possibly be an agent teaser. So I just want to get your opinion on this. If you were to add an agent to the game, what abilities would you want them to have? What role would they play?
I think
What
an
nationality
initiator.
too? Initiator?
I think
Okay.
an initiator would be really cool.
Okay.
Nationality. I have no idea, but I think initiator would be really cool. I think the scan ability, so like a
Scan,
dart
so-
or like a soft scan, like a knife.
Okay.
And then I love my drones, so
Yeah.
a good drone would be cool. And then definitely a flash. Flashes are super fun.
Yeah, I mean, initiator with flashes, it's kind of trivial at that point. So you got to have one. Well, thanks guys for tuning in to the pre-show, and stay tuned because we are getting into the action very quickly.
And I think by the end of the season, like now, we play together, everyone kind of jokes around a little bit more and kind of shines their natural ray. We're excited just to see them play better as well.
With the middle school program, the best part has been seeing the moments of teamwork where the middle schoolers really seem to get the game, and so that's when you can see they're starting to get a little bit hooked on how esports can be so fun.
Off game, or will red turn things around?
Hi, my name is Teddy Ziolkowski. I am a 2022 graduate at the University of Maryland with a degree of Bachelor's of Landscape Architecture, and right now I am a Terps Rocket League coach. Yeah, I think one of the biggest factors of why they invited me to be the coach for the Rocket League team was that I played a lot, and I was actually like the Rocket League president of the club. I played for the collegiate team before Terps Esports was a program. So I was a huge person in this community for Rocket League, so they really wanted someone who was kind of like a cornerstone that built this community to come back and be the coach. The most important thing about my role would be just getting to know all the different players in the team. Everyone has different lifestyles, they have different play styles, so you really got to just get to know every single person so that you can help kind of connect them all together so they can play well on and off the pitch. My favorite part would just be seeing their improvements throughout the entire season. I mean, you start out and everyone's a bit awkward, everyone's kind of shy as well, and I think by the end of the season, like now, we play together, everyone kind of jokes around a little bit more and kind of shines their natural ray, so it's really fun just seeing, and they're also just getting better at the game too, so we're excited just to see them play better as well. I like the program, I like the direction it's going. There's obviously so much more work to do and figuring everything out, but I really like the direction we're going, and I think just the more time that we're working to grow the program, the more we're going to learn how to just be better as a program. I think one of the things that I really want to keep improving upon for like Terps Esports is just building a bigger community for all the games. So the Rocket League community has a really big community over in the club side. So it was really nice to see more people just like bonding together. People are just, instead of just seeing as like practices as being like a forced mandatory thing, people are like reaching out to each other and like they really want to play proactively with each other, and they're becoming friends as well. So it's not even like a team and we're just teammates and that's it, but it's more like we're staying up till like 2, 3 a.m. playing because we're having fun playing, and that's also helping them get better as well. So it like increases their like chemistry together and like just playing together as well, and they can handle losses better when they're a team and they're friends. So that's like a really good part about just building this community. I think one of the biggest things is just creating like a welcoming space for like beginners, and just like having it just be really welcoming, all skill levels included. So that's something that we can try and do, and just create more like more diversity in the esports scene, just have more opportunities for other people to come, and maybe they're prodigies at a certain game or something. So when more people are playing the game and just creating more noise, then it's awesome for more people to just keep coming. It's almost like a trend. And I think by the end of the season, like now, we play together, everyone kind of jokes around a little bit more and kind of shines their natural ray. We're excited just to see them play better as well.
With the middle school program, the best part has been seeing the moments of teamwork where the middle schoolers really seem to get the game, and so that's when you can see they're starting to get a little bit hooked on how esports can be so fun.
Off game, or will Red turn things around?
Welcome back, guys. We're about to get right into the game, and we have a little bit of information on the maps currently. So I believe I heard Split and Bind is the first two maps. And do you know what the third map is by any chance?
No, they have not selected the third map yet. Hopefully, we don't need to find out what it is. But the Terps in play versus so far for this, or actually so far in the BEC included are 1-0 on Bind, but they have not played Split this season yet in competition, so that'll be something to watch out for tonight. I know they were kind of favoring Split, just hearing Coach Arjun talk.
I did hear some like, hey, what if we played Split? And there seems like some exciting commotion going around Split too, so maybe that'll might be a key into what we might see in this first map.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I think the team is relatively happy with their map picks, especially for the first two maps. Again, waiting to see on that third. Hopefully, don't have to find out. But regardless, I know the Terps are going to be comfortable heading on to Split. In terms of agent selection, I was actually eavesdropping on the players again. I don't expect that they're going to run an Astra, which tends to be a pretty solid pick on this map.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very biased towards Astra. I love Astra. She's such a good controller, but like on a lot of bigger maps, like Breeze now after the reworks, Pearl, Astra's phenomenal on Pearl. Like maybe they just want to stay away from those kinds of bigger maps because like Split's a lot more smaller, compact map. So is Bind. There's not many like lurking opportunities for those maps, so which could kind of like hinder Astra's ability in a sense. What do you think?
Yeah, honestly, I really do like Astra. I think she has one of the strongest smoke kits in the game if used correctly and on the correct maps. And what those maps are largely subjective, right? Depends on that comes down to the actual team's coaching style and, the rest of their composition. Regardless, I am wondering also if we are going to see a Sage as a Sentinel. Sage does tend to be used on Split a little bit more heavily than any other map just because of that wall potential into mid. I would be really happy to see a Sage.
I mean, with the Cypher nerfs a while ago, Cypher was the main pick for Split. So now it's kind of like opened up the Sentinel category for it's almost anybody's pick for Sentinel. So it could be Sage, could be Deadlock, could be Vise. I know Vise is getting a lot more popular in a lot of plays. Could be Vito.
Man, I have not seen this roster run a Veto yet, but an agent that they have been running that is a little bit out of pocket is Waylay. Yex actually told me that he has been really practicing Waylay, which is a big indication of what we might be seeing tonight. I know he also sometimes reaches for Yoru, another kind of out of pocket pick, but we'll have to see, how the rest of the comp unfolds. But while we have some time before we get into the game, I want to welcome Hayden back to the studio after being away for a semester in Italy. How does it feel to be back?
It feels great. I like to just come back to my roots, but I have to say Italy was fantastic. I mean, first thing, the food.
I'm sure.
Oh my, the food was great.
Yeah, back to dining hall food.
Yeah, I mean, dining hall food sometimes it's kind of a hit or miss depending on where you go. But I mean, just being in a different culture for a while really is like it's a really good experience. So I highly advocate for a lot of other students to study abroad and get that experience in. Yeah, it was it was a lot of fun. I mean, I could spend another 40 minutes talking about it, but
Well, I'm glad to hear it was fun. Hopefully you can share, bits and pieces as we run through. Maybe if we get on Ascent, you'll be able to tell us a little bit about the culture of the map, or translate some of the wall art on that map, which is in Italian.
We'll see.
But, I think Ascent is out of the competitive pool right now. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I love that map so dearly.
Yeah, this might be a very hot take, but you know what I really want? Like, which map I really want to come back?
Please say Icebox.
No, Fracture.
That's a hot take. I love Icebox. Icebox needs to be back. It's reworked. It's ready to go.
I do like Icebox sometimes, depending on if I'm like winning or losing. But like Fracture, it just has a place in my heart, I guess.
Yeah, I know they're thinking of reworking Fracture, so that may be something that we see coming up in the future. Also, another thing that we want to fill you in on, though, while we have taken this hiatus over winter break, is a really cool opportunity that UMD had, or Terps Esports had, along with C, where some students from Terps Esports got to see MatPat lecture at the Stamp, as well as partake in a meet and greet, in which we obtained these signed copies.
Yep.
Signed yours truly, in theory.
Yep.
MatPat. So really cool opportunity for Terps Esports, thanks to C as well. Terps Esports also took part in hosting a Mario Kart tournament on that date, which was really exciting. And the winner of that Mario Kart tournament won a meet and greet with MatPat, which was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I was super jealous with that meet and greet. I really wanted to participate in that Mario Kart tournament, but like, it's such a good experience to meet somebody who's done the things that MatPat has. Like, there's a whole I don't even know what to call it, but like, he has a whole honestly, let's just look at his CV. I mean, he's
right.
big YouTube platform. Well, actually, just his generic platform is just massive. So it's definitely a great opportunity to just kind of meet with that and kind of pick their brain on, like, where did they come from? Like, how did they get there?
For sure. And, he was all ears when it came to Terps Esports, asking questions about what the program does, what the program's all about. So it was really cool to get Terps Esports on the map in MatPat's brain. Really cool to know that he knows we exist. Hopefully he's watching a broadcast here or there. But I think we are about to head into the game shortly. So very exciting stuff coming up tonight in our first play versus match of the semester.
Yeah, really exciting stuff. And again, the first map will be split. And we talked about Sentinel a little bit, the Sage. What kind of other agents are we thinking that might pop up?
Honestly, sometimes people favor a Cypher on this map. It makes B-site really, really hard to take once you're on the attacker side. So I could see potentially Moose filling in that position. He loves playing Cypher. And we actually are in agent select right now. Ooh,
We have a Clove.
Interesting compositions. Okay, I have not seen ZK1 play Clove ever, so I'm really hyped to see what he brings to the table there. We also have a Viper and a Waylay on Yex, which we kind of had some inkling was going to happen.
Mm-hmm. I mean, just Waylay itself is just a strong character because of her burst potential. Like, you hop on a shotgun, buy a shotgun, dash in, down somebody, get out. It's like, her burst potential is so high. It makes her skill ceiling almost as high as Yoru's, I would say.
Yeah, I would have to agree. And speaking of Yoru, there is one for the side of Rowan Esports. So the Terps are going to have to find ways to counter that. My guess is they're going to have to do so using the Teho that the Terps do have on their side and his ability to really stop people in their tracks and stop pushes as they're coming. We also have a Viper wall to work with. I expect Moose to be using that wall very diligently, but here we are on the defense.
And Spike's already over towards B, but lots of damage coming into A main. Spike's still not there, but Terps are they're nowhere near where the Spike is.
Man, this decoy from Rowan is working absolutely beautifully, has led them to a perfectly clear B site. Meanwhile, they're not able to quite escape A unscathed as Sin is able to get first blood there, but the damage has already been done. In terms of the positioning, Rowan's going to be able to get this spike down with absolutely no problem whatsoever. It's going to force the Terps into a pistol retake.
Yeah, and they got to be really careful about this Viper that's coming up through CT. Moose might be aware of this.
Moose looks like he has some ideas, gonna swing and not quite land that shot. He does have a trade though right behind him as Jinho is there, along with 3 of his team members actually trailing right behind him. Everyone's coming in through CT. They're gonna have to deal with this Omen who's in the smoke, and Jinho is able to keep things under control there. ZK1 has creeped up into heaven, facing off with a Yoru, and the Bandit does enough damage to leave things down to a 1v1. Sind down to 22 HP, has a bomb to defuse, has a Sheriff in hand. Now the Yoru 1 HP and a Dream, but one shot will do it for Sind as well. Who will come out on round 1 on top? It will be Rowan University by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, since Bandit's launch, I mean, it's kind of a hit or miss gun, but like it's starting to get a lot more popularity, especially with a lot more, or with characters that have a lot cheaper of a util. So, I mean, it only costs 600 for basically like a worse Sheriff.
And yeah, we didn't talk about the Bandit at all actually being a new pistol here, and we saw it massively influence the outcome of that last round. So definitely something to consider moving forward into different pistol rounds.
So the Terps this round look more towards just to gain that mid control, but they're gonna leave both B and A site completely open. So it's just gonna be a 5-man pistol retake again as it was in the last round.
Oh, look at this pickle that the Terps have found themselves up into heaven. Once this Viper wall goes away, all the cards are on the table. They're gonna have to rely on their initiator utility, but it doesn't work out for them to the start of things. Yex, again, with that Bandit in hand, able to find a pick, but 2 go against the Terps. Bomb already planted for Rowan. They've given up sight, actually focusing on heaven, which has come back to bite them in the butt here. But will they be able to retake effectively? And this Omen, one thing he loves doing.
They gotta be careful of this Omen.
Is hiding in these smokes with the Stinger
They're not
right
aware
behind.
of it. It's just the timing. There's 2 down for the Terps.
Man, Moose with a classic.
And a Dream.
But that Omen has really, really hurt the Terps multiple times. This time it was on A site, last time on B site though, but using the same tactic, hiding in the smoke. And Moose is actually being really sneaky here. I think he's just trying to cause a little bit of paranoia on the other side of things. It's a bit of a unwinnable battle for him.
Yeah,
All giggles.
You know, he's still smiling. He's doing a little bit of trolling, but I think he meant to really try to kind of bait his life to see if the spike could get anybody else, if somebody wanted to come in and try to get the old Torb off the kill. But that's just a hard round. Like, if you're all stacked towards mid, a 5-man pistol retake, like, you got to do something weird with it. Either 5-man ramp, 5-man CT and screens or something. But it was just that Omen. The Omen, like, destroyed that push or destroyed the retake.
And that's the second time. So now the Terps have to be a little bit more diligent with clearing their smokes first, early into their retake efforts. And round after round, we've seen a lot of aggression from the side of Rowan, and nothing has changed here in round number 3. This time, they're throwing a lot of utility towards Yex and Jinho, who are posted up together into a heaven. Doesn't look like a push is going to come that way, though. Instead, we do see a really quiet scale back towards this B site, potentially. And looks like they're completely avoiding mid, which has been a theme recently in the last couple of rounds too. They're only sending 1 player there. Bomb hasn't been sent there at all. Hopefully,
we gotta wait for ZK1.
Yeah, ZK1 able to swing and just finish the job that was started by his teammate there. Meanwhile, Jinho's getting some idea of what's going on here on this B site as the rest of utility is flying through, but that smoke that ZK1 actually threw into B main has done wonders in stopping Rowan in their tracks. Instead, they're forced to funnel into mid if they want any shot of B, or they've got to work around the smoke.
Yeah, but this Viper is going to be matched with another player on A, but Rowan looks like they're kind of in a pinch.
Yeah, with only less than 30 seconds left, they're cutting noise in hopes that the Terps are going to rotate off that B site. Doesn't look like it worked, though. Look at Yex positioning in
Yex
prime
has an amazing angle. He might get 1.
And he might just even buy up enough time to win the Terps the round. Even if he doesn't get the kill, he actually ends up getting picked off, or someone else up into heaven. Yex trying to defuse this bomb or take space to do so, and he's just dies really early in that retake, down to a 2v2 Jinho, but his teammate Moose miles away from him. He's hiding, buying time for Moose to catch up with him before they take this retake on.
This is a good positioning by both of them because they can easily double swing the person out in backside, and it does happen. The Omen does fall, and it's up to the Sky.
Moose in a 1v1 toying with the Sky around the corner, and the Sky will come out on top. And it's a bit of a shaky start for the Terps so far. 0-3 here in Play Versus so far.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to give them a little bit of leeway. They haven't played Split yet for most of competitive play, right? So, like, it could just be rusty. You just got to give them a few rounds just to catch up and get their minds together. I wouldn't be surprised if we would see a timeout coming in the next, maybe even next round once they get the full buy. But they're just going to be stuck with Sheriffs and a Stinger, no hero rifles, and they do a 3-stack towards A.
Man, Yex is expecting this aggression. Instead, he's the one being aggressive. And man, look at the positioning from Rowan University, hiding behind these corners, almost expecting Yex to push up, and they're going to pay the price for it. They do get a trade off of Yex, though, but now Yex has a lot of information for the rest of his team to work off of. It's going to prompt a rotate through mid to potentially catch this Omen off guard into sewers.
That is a huge placement by the Terps because ZK1 was on the B site, making sure that nobody was flanking, so that Moose and I don't know who else that is, Jinho, so that they can get a good flank without somebody flanking them instead. But they are going to be met with this Omen first.
And they're just creeping up on this flank. Awesome shot from Jinho, though, almost expecting the Omen to be holding that high angle. And the Terps are able to meet up with everybody here.
Ooh, this Teo might be dangerous.
Yeah, the tail ult's going to be used back into screens there to try and push Rowan out of position. It works beautifully for Musu, who gets 2 with a deagle before falling to a Viper pit. Now ZK1 also with a Sheriff in hand, but we've seen him do more with less. Is just not aware of this Viper's positioning at all, unfortunately, and that will be the difference maker in that round. And another tough loss here, 4 rounds down for the Terps.
Yeah, I mean, we could see a timeout here from the Terps. I think it would be smart just to kind of reset the mental, reset the pace a little bit. They have a lot of map control. It's just the executions that just aren't working in their favor.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, they are going to be taking a timeout right now. The call did come in from Coach Arjun to just kind of slow the Terps down here, settle them in a little bit, because they seem to put themselves in a really good position before each retake. But like you said, it's the execution that seems to be off in the retake. People are getting traded too early on. Numbers don't go their way. Guns are not in their favor with the economy right now. So it makes the retake really difficult when you kind of start off with a player or 2 down.
Yeah, I mean, they're holding a lot of map space, especially towards the early round with just to kind of spread out. But Rowan is stacking mainly the A site. Sometimes they'll do a split, maybe give a little presence in mid, but they usually just hit the A site. And, you know, they did hit B like once, but it is A. So the Terps got to figure something out for a retake. I mean, they have a lot of that map space, but it looks like Rowan's actually going to do the opposite and go towards B. So we'll see how this plays out for the Terps. They do have ZK1 and Jinho on B site. The only problem is this close not too great at just defending.
Keep in mind, Yex does have an operator in hand. However, it does look like the focus for now is going to have to be on this B site where Yex is not. Instead, ZK1 spraying through his own smoke is not enough to quite slow down the rest of his team. He finds a pick to go in his favor, though. Jinho trying to help him out and does exactly that.
Wow, flashed.
These two have been just a dynamic duo here on this B side, but it's got to stay that way, and they both die shortly after one another to completely give up that space that Moose is trying to reclaim here. It's going to be difficult with a Viper pit in their way, but he's going to have to work alongside Sind with that Sky utility to try and weave their way through the cloud.
It's going to be really hard coming out of CT here. Moose has to get at least a kill here on the Omen, or maybe try to flush out some of the players into back sight so they can kind of just work together to get this Viper out of the ult. But the Omen does fall. The Viper does fall too, and Sind's right behind the Sky. Beautiful plays.
Yeah, great replay or great retake from the Terps there, especially in the face of that Viper pit. And what they really did there was play off of each other's utility, which I feel like maybe wasn't such a theme in the previous retake rounds. They really waited for Sin to throw that dog into the smoke and for Yex to come in with that waylay utility in order to make those fights more favorable for Moose, because he did have a bit of a sneaky position. So finally, the Terps get around when they need it most, and they're able to hold on to a good number of those guns.
I'm really excited to see Yex on this operator. I do want to point out that they are running the Teho Waylay combo that I love running in my ranked games specifically, because you can combo the ults and you can't escape Teho.
Yeah, and we've already seen that combination be helpful a couple times, and it will probably continue to do so. And Yex strikes first with an operator, and he repositions and is looking for more to come his way, but I don't know if Rowan is going to be so eager to give him those peaks or not. Meanwhile, ZK1 being really sneaky up into mid alongside with his teammate Moose posted up into long, and it's going to be up to ZK1 to get this trade and hunt down this Omen, but he's lost track of him with that TP.
It was very, very unlucky timing for Moose in mid. Yex still posted up with the op
And
on
now
site.
the push looks like it's coming in into A heaven. Sin is really the only person in position to take that fight. So he's going to get reinforcements here from Jinho there. But I don't know if they're expecting this race to be up top, and they maybe have some inkling that something suspicious is going on. They're going to smoke off A main and try and force this push into Yex's operator. Looks like that push is coming into fruition right now with ZK1 helping out as well. Clove ultimate used for ZK1. Actually surprised to see him use this ultimate here, and it does not quite work out in his favor, and suddenly the Terps, who are looking like they were smooth sailing, have to find themselves scrambling here.
Yeah, now it's down to a 2v2, but the Terps are already going to meet Rowan right at B site. They knew it was going to happen, so they reacted really fast. Sin's going to be posted up, down watching for a default plant. Gets the one. Can't connect on the second one, but the Omen's on for the ace here. But no, there's no time.
Wow. Not great clock work there from Rowan. Not good management of the time that they had. Got kind of, lost in the sauce a little bit, honestly, with that rotate. And I just want to point out, too, really good util use from Yex there to almost guarantee that pick for Sin. And just that's an example, a prime example of what we see when this team is at their best. They're using their util to help each other.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned in the pre-show, like, Yex uses the duelist role to just invent things. He's an engineer at work in these games, and sometimes he makes the Waylay look like a sentinel, sometimes an initiator, oftentimes a duelist. But Moose is going to be met with a lot of players from Rowan in mid.
Oh, and Moose is being really sneaky. So is Yex, though, and both of them are able to get a pick along with Sin. Suddenly, everything is going right here for the Terps, even ZK1 being a little bit mischievous with a shorty in his own smoke. Peeks out with a Vandal. Does get picked off, though. Meanwhile, Terps don't have bomb control yet. It's actually going to be towards B, potentially, although the players for Rowan still have to kind of meet up and make that decision for themselves. But right now, they're in mid, where Sin is going to hunt them down.
Yeah, they still gotta be really wary about where Yex is. He could have already rotated off of A, but no, he's still rotated off of B, but he's still posted up on B with that op. He's in a very good position to where if Rowan decides to push Heaven, he can shoot from he can shoot Heaven too. But Moose is gonna be the first line of defense from there. Gets one. Could he get the sky?
Not
Cannot get the sky,
quite.
but the information is already out there. Yex is already moving straight there.
Man, Yex is being really patient. He's waiting for just a pixel of information. He's going to get it with the gun peeking
Beautiful
out.
shot.
And he's going to clean up that round. He's kept that operator for a solid, 3 rounds now?
3 or 4 rounds at this point. Yeah, I mean, he had it. I want to say right before they went in the timeout. No, he bought it at the timeout. So I mean, those last 3 rounds were the rounds that he's had the op with. So,
Hey,
what do we say about that?
3 rounds with an op, 3 rounds with a dub. So seems to be a correlation going on there. But now Rowan University is forced into a pistol round. And again, they're going to be squared up against Yex's operator. They're going to come right in the palm of his hand here into a main. And no one's quite pushing him yet, but he has some idea that they're there. I won't be surprised if we get some sprays through the Viper wall there. But meanwhile, look at Rowan. They're on site without any damage done.
Yeah, I think the main objective for this round is just to get the spike down and get a little extra money. But this is going to be a really interesting retake because they're already pushed up in a CT. ZK1 goes down, but they're still low.
Oh, Jinho just absolutely fighting for his life here, throwing all the utility he has to offer in the way of screens. But look how many players are there trying to hunt him down. That's 2 apiece, only focused on Jinho. Finally, they do get the job done on him. Yex, though, creeping up onto site with an operator in hand is a risky move. But when you're Yex, you can do stuff like that. But the round is still not over. Actually, Ray's ultimate used to take Yex out of the equation. Sin still just trying to make the best out of a bad situation here. If he can escape with his gun, that's all the Terps can ask for this round.
Yeah, it was a very unlucky round for the Terps. It's just really hard to retake with an operator, especially on that duelist role. So maybe to switch it up, he could give the operator to somebody else, maybe either ZK1 or another role that just kind of stays back so that he can get that entry back in for the retake. And it's hard to retake as a 5v5. I mean, you're already down. If they're already on site, you're already at the disadvantage.
For sure, because they can just post up their smokes, post up the angles that they want, and it becomes suddenly a really difficult thing to face. And that also was a thrifty for Rowan. So that has done wonders for the economy, as we can see with their loadouts heading into this next round, in which they're putting up a lot of pressure up into mid.
Yeah, the Terps do still have guns to work with, and Moose uses his gun to his fullest advantage, gets a kill through smoke.
Oh, and Sin is trying to get some information there. I'm not sure if he caught someone with his Skydog or not, but meanwhile, I think the rest of the players kind of know that this is a default right now, as it looks like it. Everyone's kind of spotted each other out on all sides of this map. Moose seemingly aware of this pushed up in mid position. Meanwhile, a pick is able to come through for Jinho. Sind gives up a lot of space up into B Heaven, though, so it's going to be a B push, but ZK1 holding down the fort into B Garage. Oh my goodness, now all that's left is this Yoru here, who's fully blinded both of the Terps into B Garage, but it's not too much to deal with if you're ZK1. Oh my goodness, what a round for him.
Yeah, I mean, Jinho and ZK1 on this B site is just, it's hard to work. You know, a few rounds ago, they had a really good play together where they're just playing together. It looks natural.
And that was just insane confidence there. Pushed up far into B main.
Yeah, especially against the kill against the Yoru. That was just pure confidence right there. And that round is going to send Rowan into another half buy. So we'll see how UMD reacts to this. It's not going to be the same as last half buy. Yex almost there for the kill.
Oh, and the tail ultimate is used really early on for the Terps, almost alarmingly early. I'm not sure if it really caught any Rowan players off guard, but someone that will catch them off guard is ZK1 holding that really tight angle. Will end up paying, though, with his life and also with the rest of site control. Jinho trying to, make the numbers flip a little bit, especially with Moose getting picked off there. Meanwhile, Yex has to watch out right behind him. This Raze wants him dead along with the rest of the players on this B site, in which the bomb is starting to tick down a little bit. The Terps running out of time, have to act fast. Yex gets a really good pick to start things off. The job is not done, though. He swings alongside Sind. Yex, Jinho both getting picked off is going to make things really difficult for the remaining players on site. And Rowan able to firmly grasp onto their lead here.
Yeah, that kill on Moose was really detrimental for UMD, because then they just got pinched. Like, you have one person backside, one person pillar, one person main, and then there's another one wrapping around you in mid. It's just hard to deal with those kinds of situations, and they're going to have to deal with an eco round themselves, with ZK1 potentially buying a hero rifle here.
I mean, that's what
it
looks like for now. And also we have a Guardian for Yex too. So almost a half buy from the Terps. They're trying to not let this lead get too out of control, which I understand from a coaching perspective 100%.
Right, but this Rowan team is beautiful shots in mid, taking a lot of control there. But going back to what I was saying, this Rowan team is running the Tool 2 Duelist comp, so they're going to be a lot more aggressive on the attack side. But especially with the Euro's not that great with defense. Like the only stall or utility that you might have is just a flash, and the Terps have to be really, really careful about this Viper sneaking up in a CT. But it doesn't look like it's going to cause any problems soon, as Moose and who is that? Looks like Yex, right? No, that's not Yex.
Oh, Sin right behind him. Yep.
Okay, yeah, it is Sin. But the Sky does go down, and it's still just this Viper. They might be aware of the Viper and screens.
Yeah, eventually Moose is the one to, finish the round there. But, a really strong round from UMD considering they only really purchased 2 guns there. But we saw ZK1's purchase of the Phantom really come in clutch for the Terps. He got at least 2 kills that round when, the Terps most needed it. So hopefully a bit of a momentum switch in the works here in Studio C. We definitely need one right now.
Yeah, I do really like the fact that ZK1 and Jinho are playing together, because with Clove's metal and Tejo's missiles, I want to say that's like on regular 150 HP, that's got to be a lot of damage. Maybe in 2-shot with the missiles after the metal. The metal is going to come out here with ZK1 finding one on the raise. That's huge. It's going to force everyone to back up and just kind of rethink some strategies going into the next part of this round.
Yeah, Rowan's still kind of tempted by this B site by the looks of things. They have thrown a Viper wall, though, in the direction of A. Doesn't seem like it's caught too many Terps on the rotate, however. But it now looks like they're quietly trying to make their way up into mid. Moose throws up that Viper orb. But I would suspect that the Terps here have to be really careful of getting attacked here from mid into B Heaven, which is exactly what's underway here if Rowan decides to continue to push this angle. Yex and Moose fighting together here to maintain Heaven control. Sprays come through, Sky ultimate comes through. Spike is down thanks to Yex, and ZK1 is there to help him out from right below and make that a 4K.
ZK1 with a 4K. While blind too.
ZK1 is just insane. He's insane. He is going places for this team for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like just his performance on this Clove is absolutely, like, his confidence shooting through the roof. I feel like that's a common theme with Clove too. I mean, Clove's very self-sufficient, but in a pretty high stakes match as this and in such a high level, running Clove is not something you would see, but he makes it look really easy. I want to try Clove out now.
Man, I love playing Clove. I know it's a hot take. Oh, okay. Actually, hold the press. We just got report that the team is howling outside.
Question mark?
Howling question mark? Howling exclamation point. Confirmed. They are howling. So that tells you the mental state of the team right now.
Well, they got to be in a good state, though, because they have a lot to look forward to. This Rowan comp still is, again, like I said, it's not going to be that great on defense. Even though Split is a naturally defensive-sided map, Yex does move in with ZK1 right behind him. ZK1, massive right click.
Yikes. Okay, good thing that's on our side, because you hate to be on the receiving end of those right clicks. But Yex with a ghost in hand, trying to get the most value out of it alongside Sin. It will be Jinho, though, with a classic as well. Finally, Yex able to net a kill there towards Heaven. Still trying to fight that same angle. Terps, though, HP is really starting to dwindle for them. But likewise for the Rowan player, it's not a problem, though,
And
if
Moose
you're
looks
Moose.
excited to get that kill.
Yeah,
Wow.
because that could have been scary, Like, they're down HP a little bit, but, all you need is a Deagle Demon like Moose to land a headshot.
Yeah, I mean, I think the they were on the last player was probably within a body shot. A body shot from the Sheriff. So there was still a lot of fallback. Moose had the Sheriff too in his hands. So you got the headshot. We'll take it. But
Yeah.
it was kind of a trade. One side's also low, or one side's low, the other side's also low. But a lot of information from that sky flash.
Yeah, and now the Terps have transitioned to the attack. So they are just trying to get as much information as they can about this site. Yak's gonna go in absolutely guns blazing there onto site, and it will net the Terps a kill as well as full site control. They're gonna be able to plant this bomb and wait for Rowan to trickle in here on this retake. Look how much attention they're giving up into heaven, and it's working out beautifully. Them finding 3 picks there, but it's a level playing field. 3v3 ZK1 fighting for his life with a Marshall here, and it's a tight fight to take with a Marshall, and he will die as a result of that, and so will Moose. Oh my goodness. Around
one shot in the chamber, but wasn't able to get it though.
Yeah, and that round looked really, really promising to start off, but just kind of fell apart as soon as the Terps were not able to quite get all those picks on the other side of heaven.
Yeah, it was definitely the push or the retake down ramps. It looks like Moose is going to buy a Hero Rifle with the Guardian. They still have a little bit of money to work with. But, I mean, when you lose that second round, and then your chances go way down for winning that third round. But usually the way it happens is your opponents get much more of an economic boost if they win that second and third round, because they had to save the second round. So it's essentially saying that they're a full round ahead in terms of economy. But Yex might be looking to play very aggressive. He has the Bucky.
Oh my goodness, Yex just going right in the face of the Viper. Alongside Sin's Sky Flash, the combination of that information from the Sky Flash, as Moose unfortunately gets picked off, and the Waylay's ability to kind of quickly get in position to take a fight, even with a flash that's thrown really deep, has been huge so far in the attack for the Terps.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying this a little bit ago, but just the sheer, like, the quickness of Waylay, it makes her such a phenomenal agent.
Oh, Sin with the wall bang off the bat, trying to get control of this B site, comes in huge, but it's not enough. Oh my god, look at the Sky just taking down all 3 Terps who tried to get an inch onto that B site.
Yeah, I mean, Yex was low too, so that he was one shot from the Phantom, and it just kind of fell apart for the other 2. It was just an unlucky timing, but they still were able to get put a little bit of damage towards Rowan's economy. Both teams can buy full rifles, with the exception of Send. So this is going to be a pretty important match here, because this can kind of decide whether or not you're going to be falling back in terms of economy. But a lot of ults are almost up. I think Yex is 1 away from his ult. Actually, I feel like a lot of people, or a lot of players on the Terps are 1 away from most of their ults. Sorry, Yex is 3.
Yeah, and Yex, off bat being really aggressive up into heaven, nothing out of the ordinary from him, but the rest of his teammates are kind of remaining quiet. I think they're trying to wait potentially for ZK1 to get a pick, or for ZK1 to even meet the rest of them up into heaven, or even kind of draw in rotates for ZK1 to get those picks off of, as, you know, if they do decide to start making some more noise up into A. But instead, does look like it's going to be a rotate if they can make it out alive, that is, because they have the Yoru to deal with, who has now taken down 2 of our players. So really not a good start here for the Terps.
Yeah, that's not good. They kind of got the read on the Terps when the Seekers went out. They were all broken in A main. ZK1 takes a pretty aggressive fight up in mid, just trying to see if he can't equalize the lives on each side.
And now it looks like the Terps have kind of had to regroup here on the other side of A site, but there are defenders waiting for them. It's not a problem for Muso, who lands a really nice shot with the Vandal, is able to buy him enough space and time here to get this bomb down, but the Terps have got an unfair numbers advantage unless you have ZK1 to get a pick, although a trade does come through quickly. So Moose actually holding an aggressive angle here and might choose to swing out into screens there in the face of 3 of the defending players who are just throwing blinds and the whole 9 in Moose's face. He's managed to get 1, turn around, hunts for the second, lands it, and possibly even the third. He's going to have to win this round. Just narrowly cannot finish the job there.
That was still a good rotate or reposition by Jinho, trying to give a little bit of support from Heaven, since the spike was planted for Heaven. But again, it's just an unlucky turn of events.
Yeah, just narrowly losing these rounds, but that's all it has to be, because Rowan is still in the lead, as they have been for the majority of this map so far. So still hunting for that momentum shift for the Terps.
Yeah, we do see Yex buying another Bucky. I wonder where he's going to go this time. Could go back into mid like he did last round, or maybe even do something towards A. It looks like it's going to be more of a mid push. Again, there are 3 holding mid and Heaven.
Oh, it's that flash dash combo.
13 HP. Gets the kill in the sky. Wow.
I'm gonna coin that for the Terps. Flash dash combo. Because that's what it is. They flash deep. Sind flashes deep. Yex follows through aggressively with that Waylay utility. We've seen it round after round, and it's been unbeatable round after round.
I mean, regardless, if the Sky doesn't get, or if the Sky that was playing in Vents doesn't get flashed, they still have to turn their oh my lord, they still have to turn their mouse around so they can dodge the flash. But even then, it resets your crosshair, so you can't exactly see Yex whenever he's coming. And he's there, and he's out in a blink.
Oh, ZK1 also out in a blink, but Jinho able to just get that trade and make this round still somewhat doable for them if they're able to kind of post up their position. They have 3 ultimates to work for them. I would almost like to see them maybe use the Viper Pit here. I think they're in need of a momentum shift. I think that's how they can really solidify it for the Terps potentially. But it does look like Moose is kind of in a position to catch some rotates that aren't going to come his way. Instead, Sind is left with a Stinger and just an impossible battle to win against a Raze ultimate. And now Rowan defenders have found their way onto this bomb site, and they have a Teho ultimate to work with to kind of buy themselves a little bit more time. Moose playing strategically up into Heaven, can just spray through the smoke, but he gets overwhelmed by the on-site players. Jinho 1v1 bomb ticking down. Oh, he gets caught running away, but he did not buy enough time for the Terps.
A matter of a second and a half. That's these rounds come down to seconds.
Yeah, just really narrow margins here. And again, I kind of wanted to see that Viper Pit use. Maybe, that could have flipped the script a little bit. Moose was able to take advantage of his positioning up into Heaven to net himself a kill or two, but still, I feel like they needed more support on the actual bomb site.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, Moose's positioning just didn't let him get to that Viper Pit towards the end of the round, but maybe they might do something different where they put him towards one of the sites and not as a lurker through mid, because that Viper Pit is so important. Rowan also has a Viper Pit of for themselves too, so that's going to be a very dangerous thing to work around. They might put that towards mid. That's what we did see UMD do that when they were on the defense. But it's like, in order to use the Viper Pit effectively, you have to be close to the site, because it takes a while for it to pop up and get everything set up, get your own positioning run in. But once you have your positioning, your team's positioning, it's very hard to retake into that Viper wall. So UMD just has to understand that and maybe figure out a way to work around getting a Viper Pit as early as possible once the spike gets planted.
Yeah, this map will be determined, I feel like, by how each of these sides use their ultimates for the remainder of the map. Both teams have 3 ultimates apiece, and we're going to see one be used really early on here up into mid, kind of like you were saying. Meanwhile, Yex going to use an ultimate to try and help the Terps get on to this A site, but it's trades so far for either side. Hopefully Yex looking to push into that Sky, but does so a little bit too late. Doesn't matter though, is able to have the gun advantage. And now Moose will use his Viper ultimate, and we still have this Viper ultimate going on in mid that's going to have to be neglected. But the Terps have to be aware of this Heaven positioning. Looks like Jinho has his eyes all over it, but he just narrowly misses the timing for the shot onto the Omen. Does he know the Viper's there? Yes. But can he also catch this Omen off guard? Swings, and he does find a 3-piece for himself this round. And man, the Terps had to use a couple ultimates to get there, but they have bought themselves another round win.
Yeah, it was a pretty expensive round, but that Viper ult was it was a very good ult because it cuts off. Let's see a replay of Jinho getting his final kill there. I do really love that finisher though. That finisher
cool.
is so good. But the Viper ult was it was very well placed because usually when you're trying to retake, you're trying to funnel in through CT, but it went so deep into CT the point like by the time you get into screens, you're already down to 1 HP from the decay.
Yeah, it's a strategic use of those ultimates for that round. Rowan able to hold on to 2 of the 3 ultimates that they had initially. One of those being the Yoru ultimates, which I haven't feel like we've really seen yet from Rowan, so Terps going to have to figure out how to counter that. Meanwhile, they have bigger fish to fry here on this B site. Yex doing his job as the duelist, getting those picks where it counts. His teammates are there to back him up. 1 player left alive for Rowan. Make that no players. What a quick and decisive round for UMD, and are we finally getting a little bit of a sway here in the Terps' favor?
It looks like we're gaining some traction just because no players on Rowan, all players on Terps for that round. Boy, that was beautiful. And it's just the team, they just play naturally at this point because Yex gets a lot of space, but then you have these 2 initiators with Sin and Jinho. I mean, look at Sin. He has 17 assists, and Jinho has 17 kills.
Yeah, and he's using his flashes so effectively. His utility usage has been just insane this game to help the rest of his teammates out. And he has healing too, which I'm sure is also helping him rack up those assists. So,
oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, really good team composition for the Terps. I do like their agent pick here, as, wary as it seemed in the beginning. But right now, another quick B execution from the looks of things. They're going to be slowed down just a little bit by that Yoru, but not for long, as ZK1 has used his ultimate, and it actually pays off huge. He hangs on to his life and is going to use it to watch up into B heaven there. Bomb down. Terps slowing down a little bit, waiting for those pushes to come their way. ZK1 still just toying with that heaven player. He does end up getting picked off, but Moose and Yex have got things under control, and here we are. It's all tied up, I believe, for the first appreciable time here this map.
Yeah, I mean, Terps are putting a lot of damage on Rowan's economy too. It's going to send him into a buy or half buy with two hero rifles. That make that 1 instead. That's even better for the Terps. Now I have a question. So if Clove ults, let's say ZK1 ulted that round, but nobody else died, is that still considered a flawless?
If ZK1 ults and dies, or if ZK1 ults and
If
lives?
ZK1 dies, then ults and gets a kill, and then nobody else on Terps die, is that still a flawless?
I don't think so. I would have to check the rulebook in Valorant, but I don't think so, because you still got a kill. But that's interesting. I would like to see, maybe we can test that theory, get a flawless for the Terps and an ult for ZK1.
That'd be amazing, right? Especially right now.
But regardless, looks like the Terps are taking things a little bit more slow here in this next round. They do know they have a weapons advantage in their favor, so waiting for those pushes to come their way and holding the angles that they feel most confident in to take those fights. Meanwhile, some utility being thrown up into B heaven. Yoru for Rowan is going to be able to TP out of position. So Yex is the one kind of charging in with the rest of his teammates here. He has to clear that angle, and he does so effectively and in a well-disciplined manner is the best way to describe Yex clearing this B site. Meanwhile, Sin hiding behind in the corner of that smoke actually paid off huge for them. He's able to net himself 2 kills and make this an almost unwinnable round for Rowan.
Jinho does get that last trade, man. I was hoping they would have gotten another flawless, because then it's one step there to testing our theory out. Get the flawless, but ZK1 needs his ult. And we do see a timeout coming from Rowan, and it's probably a good timeout on their part, because this, I would say, is the most important round of the game.
For sure.
Because Rowan is going to go on to a full buy, right? But if they lose this round, then they're going to have a half buy. They're going to have to force whatever money they have left after this round for match point or map point. And, if that doesn't work out, that gives Terps all the more advantage in that last round. I mean, obviously they're at match point. The confidence is going to go up, but it makes it even easier to just kind of deal with stuff when everybody else has sheriffs or stingers. obviously it's going to, cause some really weird plays. We have seen that in the past on this map where Rowan does some really weird stuff with, maybe a hero vandal here and there. So we just have to see what happens. Let it play
Yeah,
out.
for sure. This is a crucial round, economy-wise, ult-wise, everything. For the whole map, this is a important round for both sides. And both teams have full loadouts.
We do have that op there. That's interesting because I don't think the Euros ever touched an op this game.
No, haven't seen it yet from the Yoru, but we have seen Yex with the operator before. Paid off big for them last time. Hopefully it's able to do so again here. Operator usage can get a little bit tricky on the attack, but when you have someone, of the caliber of Yex and his Waylay abilities, I have full confidence that they can really get some value out of that operator, but they're going to have to find a way in here looking on the other side of a Viper wall.
Yeah, this does kind of really switch up their gameplay because a lot of times they utilize Yex on the attack side to just be very quick and very explosive. But Yex does get rid of that operator so that he can do the same thing that he's used to doing.
Yeah, dashes
Finds
onto
one.
site. He gets a lot of information, too, that there is a player on site, but meanwhile, 2 of his players have died, and they have downed Spike even, so all cards are on the table for the Terps, not the way they wanted to start off the round, but it's not how they start it, it's how they finish it. So they have really got to be quickly aware of this flank they have cooking up right behind them, and that operator for the Yoru does net at least 1 kill, and that is on Yex. So ZK1 picks up that operator that Yex had. It's a bit of a stalemate here up into a heaven, but it's just taking time here for the Omen to come up on the flank. And Rowan has to be really happy with their performance that round.
Yeah, I mean, this is shaping up to be a very close game, and I hate to say it, but it looks like it could be an overtime game.
Maybe.
First map of the first match for Playversus is an overtime game.
Man, it wouldn't be uncharacteristic of the games that we have here in Studio C. Sometimes going down to what we have like 7 times of overtime was like the highest 6 or 7.
My.
But yeah, just insane games we've had here in Studio C. Will this be another one? We'll have to see how the rest of these next couple rounds unfold.
So Terps do still opt to getting in that operator again. There's nobody going to be vent, so Yex won't have his usual go-to. He still can post up in vents for a minute, but they're going to be met with this Omen and the Viper holding down B main. It's dangerous because it's 2 controllers.
Oh, and despite the flash from Sin, he's not able to quite get his crosshair in the right place at the right time, but ZK1 has picked up this operator and is doing the most with it. Jinho able to get a pick just using his utility, and the Terps have kind of bought themselves a lot of room for, they've gotten a lot of picks here, but they haven't really inched onto site any. They're going to try and use Teo's drone, but they completely miss this Yoru, and they're going to pay the price for it twofold, with 2 of the Terps falling there before even making their way onto site. Jinho trying to put a stop to things, trying to push up, take the space that belongs to him and his team, and Yex and Jinho are being a dynamic duo here on this B site and have kind of forced the Yoru out into garage, using that ultimate to seal the deal. And that is a really huge win for the Terps to push them at map point.
Yeah, it was a really good last play. That was expensive just to get the Yoru out of there, but the Teo hold caused like a little bit of like panic within the Yoru, and Yex took advantage of that immediately before Yoru had any time to react based off of the Teo hold and maybe like throw a TP somewhere or just try to get out of the way. Yex is already there to meet him and take him down and send this to map point.
Yeah, just extremely crucial round heading up here. Terps lose, we go into overtime, Terps win, map number 1 is over. Knowing that, it's high stakes, high rewards for ZK1, holding on to that operator.
Inches away.
Yeah, and now, unfortunately, Rowan is very aware of that operator in play, and they can, adjust their tactics around it. So now the Terps kind of forced to slow down here up into mid.
It's going to be a very, very aggressive play by Rowan into B main, but it looks like Sin's very aware of it and sends the Skydog in there.
Yeah, and he could be trying to kind of fake a push towards this B site. Unfortunately, they do lose Moose in the process, but it does look like all of the Terps pretty much here are going to try and sneak their way up. It looked like it was going to be onto A Heaven, but they're doubling back here and actually flooding out fully, and they are not going to be met with a completely full site. They have a lot of screens work ahead of them if they want to keep a hold of this site. Sin trying to get things started here, and it will be Yex who's working alongside with him. It's a 2v4. It's not looking good for the Terps, but they use their Sky Ultimate in their advantage. Yex gets a kill. Sin falls. It's all up to Yex in a 1v2 now with a Phantom in hand, playing around this one way. Has a spike that he needs to keep ticking. Yoru's sticking. I don't know if Yex is aware of that. Doesn't matter in the end, though, as this map number 1
Going
will
into
be
overtime.
sent to overtime. Good start to play versus. Dramatic start to play versus.
Yippee. So we're going to see that glass cannon coming out from Yex with the operator. Maybe not. Maybe he has a second train of thought. I think it would be a good idea, though. He has shined pretty well on the operator. And, I mean, Split's just naturally Split's kind of weird because of a lot of the height differences, but because of just the regular choke points, it is nice to have an op just somewhere. So it looks like he is going to double down and get the op.
Yeah, we've seen the op be a really influential purchase for both sides in this map, to say the absolute least. As we see a really quick sight attempt here from Rowan. It gets shut down by Jinho. Really crucial pick to start things off. Meanwhile, Yex with an operator is waiting for a peek to come his way down. Spike in the process. Huge pick for Yex, and he doesn't get too greedy. Backs up, waits for his teammates to kind of do the rest, as ZK1 is able to do. And the Terps have really made it look effortless, but suddenly they've put themselves in a really great position for this first round of overtime. And even more so with Sin holding this angle really aggressively, as Yex able to swing off of that information, finds himself a second operator kill for this round. And it's just a absolutely flawless first round of overtime here in Studio C.
Yeah, I think they really learned from a lot of their mistakes in that first half, because they understood now that Rowan likes to push A, but they're either going to run a fake or commit to the A push. And that was just really nice of Yex to just anchor down on B side, be patient, and it paid off. And that is the last map, or maybe not last. Hopefully the last round of this map. There we go.
Yes, and it will be if the Terps are able to get the job here done in the next 1 minute and around 30 seconds. Really aggressive from the side of UMD, off rip. They do pay for it, though, as they did lose Jinho. That's a lot of important utility taken, off of their util kit off the bat. But now things are a little bit more quiet here. Moose trying to get some sneaky positioning, work with ZK1 to find themselves up into heaven. And this is interesting. Are they going to potentially run mid to B? Looks like right now they're putting up a big ruckus here up into A heaven. Spike hasn't moved, so I imagine them are going to re-hit this A site, but they're not being super upfront about it.
I think they were just trying to leave Sin there to figure out where the Omen was playing. The Omen is going to leave that original position he was in the corner. Now it's going to play back site, so this is going to be really weird. Omen does get the first pick onto Yex.
Oh, and ZK1 just trying to secure that trade, and does so, down to a 2v2. Spike still not planted despite them having site control, and they will end up planting it just now. I really like ZK1's positioning to catch Rowan completely off guard, and ZK1 will...
with the shorty.
Oh my goodness, with the shorty. He's the one to clutch up the round, which, God knows how that round would have ended, just in a potentially 2v1 if ZK1 did not get that initial kill. So we've seen him come in clutch so many times here on display, and I'm really excited to see what he does tonight.
Oh yeah, I mean, it caught Rowan totally off guard, because how in the world do you have or get to CT that deep into CT that fast without them seeing you? And it was just game over at that point.
Well, we've had a very exciting and eventful map number 1. Stay tuned after a quick commercial break for map number 2.
My name is Subin Kim, my in-game name is Carrots, and I'm the controller of this team.
My name is Hannah, my IGN is Tuxedo Sam, and I play Sentinel for the team.
My name is Sima, my in-game name is Care Bear, and I'm a flex.
My name is Megan, my IGN is Giraffe, and I'm an initiator.
My name is Sophia, my IGN is Soap, and I'm an initiator.
Hi everyone, I'm Ayush, my in-game name is Dulcexa, and I'm the coach.
For me, I think it was just really interesting to see like our names on like social media and like on a website. I'm just like, whoa, my name is on a website but so I think that was like the number one thing that kind of like just it brought the realization of like what kind of team I'm in, like what kind of position I'm in.
Meeting them. It's like hard to make a woman and non-binary friends in Valorant, so it's just really nice that we have like a team specifically for that.
The studio.
Yeah.
Oh, the studio. Oh, I didn't even know that existed. I didn't know that existed until like remember like when we first talked about the studio, I was like, what's that? When I first went to the room, I was like, oh, there's cameras and lighting. I'm just like, that's
nice computer.
Nice computer.
The monitor is
So
crazy.
true.
Winning.
Yeah.
Oh, so true. Totally cool. Winning.
Getting into that.
Yeah, that
Yeah, I feel like
was pretty cool.
hey. I would say supportive is definitely like Dusty and Rachel. Those two, just like making sure we had scrims down, making sure we had practice schedules down, like Dusty making sure like to pick out what we did wrong, just like, you know, helping us improve. I think definitely.
Yeah, Dusty's a very present coach, so
Very.
it's like he's really reliable and helped us through the whole season.
Thanks, team.
Yeah, you'd even like schedule things for us,
like organize all the schedules.
help us map bands and like talk to
Stats,
them
yeah.
if like realize if one of them was like unranked or something. Breaking a
Forfeit
rule,
teams.
forfeit, making teams forfeit.
Maybe we don't talk about that last part.
I would also say like our fans in chat, like on
Oh,
stream.
true.
Also. It was nice knowing
W
people
chat.
watching us.
And the haters.
Oh yeah.
Improve in the higher division.
Yeah, it is definitely more challenging because we're in a higher division now. But I think we could, like, with our coordination, I definitely think we could. We need to bring home another one of these.
It feels great.
You
Yeah.
guys know this is the first title that Terps Esports has won.
Wait, seriously?
And by
really?
women.
Oh, seriously? Oh,
First time.
cool.
I like playing Valorant.
Have an excuse to play games.
That's true. That's good.
For me, I joined because, well, like I've always wanted to be on a women's team, especially like since I got to UMD, and me and Dusty had always like tried to make teams work every semester, and this was the first time it actually did work and stuck, and the people who tried out like were committed. So I guess I've always just wanted to be on a women's team to like connect more to that community.
To make friends.
So I had that gap, you know, without a team for a while, and then I saw the form, and I was like, I really want to try this. This sounds fun. And then, yeah, I play Valorant too much. I mean, first of all, I did not imagine me being IGL when I first started, because I am, outside of my Lilac team, I am known as the no-brain, only aim chamber in comp. So I did not imagine myself being IGL. But like, I think it's like, there were some difficulties in the beginning because no one, like, I wasn't used to giving out comms. I was just very confused. But I think now it's just like the amount of trust that my teammates give me when I give out comms and the amount of like coordination that we have. Like I just love being like IGLing because I trust that things will work out.
I'm Greg, also known as Sind, and I'm an initiator player for the Valorant Premier Team.
I'm Kazu, and I go by NJV, and I'm the coach for the team.
I'm Richard, and I go by Pickle Richard, and I'm the duelist player.
Pretty fun. I definitely liked all the guys I was playing with. It's fun to get in the server with them. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a challenge balancing it with other things, but
yeah,
it's definitely something that I enjoy doing a lot.
Yeah, making like all the friends that we made through this team, so it really makes me happy. So it's like really awesome that we did this.
Yeah, I think I had really fun times on this team. I played well every single game.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. I think my favorite moment was map 5. I think that was a really fun match.
The grand finals.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
the
was
grand
fun.
final. Yeah.
Remember what map it was?
I don't remember that.
Oh, it was Sunset. Yeah,
Sunset.
Yeah.
And you played Rays.
Yeah, I played Rays.
Yeah, no, that map was really intense. Like, it was super, super hard. The pressure was definitely on. Like, it was super late at night. It was like midnight or
It was very late. It was really
1 a.m. or
like my favorite one was probably the first match of the season.
Oh yeah,
First time in the studio together.
Oh, in the studio.
Oh, yeah.
That was fun. It
That
was
was
like
fun.
fun seeing all the Academy boys in the studio. So that was sick. Yeah.
My personal goal is I think I'm gonna try to hit Radiant this season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can. It's,
Yeah.
I think it's definitely to win Big Ten right now, and then place top 8 in CVAL. That's our goal.
Top 8 CVAL.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big Ten is definitely the thing I'm most interested in seeing.
Mhm.
I'm not flying out, but hopefully, or the boys do well over
Hopefully
it.
we win.
Where is it?
I-
OSU? Ohio State?
Yeah, Ohio.
Ohio.
I promise at least second place.
At least second place? I think we can win it.
I think we can win it too.
I think we can.
We gotta
win
be
Big Ten.
humble.
Everyone, yeah, we just don't. We can't get complacent.
Can't get
Yeah,
complacent. Never that.
That's a good one.
Go ahead.
Honestly, like unironically, I think Kazu is a very fun person to have in the program as like an emotional leader. Even though he doesn't always sometimes things can get a little disorganized with Kazu at the helm.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
for as much flack as we give him for being terrible at the game, he's actually
Yeah, if you watch our
He's
games
actually a very
while I play, you'll be surprised. Like, I hear House is the guy my coach a lot.
Yeah.
Like, a weird amount of time.
but I think Kazu's a great addition for him. I love that.
Yeah, I love
He's
having
great.
him here.
You love Valorant.
He's very wholesome.
He is very awesome.
Wholesome.
Yeah,
He's
he's-
radiant. Remember that.
I'm ready to remember that.
Yeah, his timeouts have improved a lot too. As someone who's seen him coach over the last like 2.5 years.
Yeah, I
your
coached him
old
for a while.
timeouts were.
Yeah, that was when I was
great.
a little baby boy coach.
Yeah, but now he's improved a lot.
Yeah.
I really like having him as coach.
Thank you, Gregory. Wow, this is great. You should do this more often.
That's the most praise you've ever heard.
He got an ego boost for free today.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Hey everybody, welcome back. We had a very eventful map number 1. If you missed it, the Terps were down for majority of the map and then they clawed their way back into the second half to avoid we were in overtime. We had one round of overtime and then the Terps were able to come out on top. So that all happened onto Split, but we are heading into Bind next.
Yeah, and Bind is the Terps map choice too, so we'll probably see a lot different of, just some different gameplay from the Terps. They might be a lot more confident on this map because they know this map pretty well. And then it might just be a lot more straightforward for them. They did lose a lot of really weird fights on Split, but maybe that's just because they haven't played Split as a competitive map yet. As a team, maybe they probably scrimmed on it, but against another team, it might still be kind of like an open, just an open book. lot to figure out with Split.
Yeah, and heading on to Bind, the Terps are currently 1-0 on Bind for the spring semester. So, all the data that we have is that they won on Bind. So hopefully,
it's still early in the season. So, but they do traditionally like Bind. I know I wasn't here last semester. So, what was their usual picks last semester? Do you remember?
Yeah, last semester the map rotation was a little bit different than it is right now. But I know they would tend to favor like Pearl as well. And yeah, I remember Pearl Ascent also being one that was a frequent flyer. Also Sunset, they tended to play a lot.
Yeah.
I cannot stand Pearl. I really struggle with Pearl as a map personally, but also I feel like Pearl is one of those maps where your team is either really really good at it or really really bad at it, and the Terps obviously being the former, but them having really strong performances on that map before, but also on Sunset, I kind of do like Sunset. For some reason I feel like Sunset was always a map number 3 pick last semester consistently.
Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, what was the total map pool? Because they brought in it was Abyss.
Yeah, Abyss as well. Yeah.
I guess maybe the only change was Ascent for Corrode.
Oh, Corrode. Yeah, they did play Corrode a couple of times last semester. And Corrode is, a map that still people are trying to feel out. Relatively new. It's gotten a little bit of age now. People are a little bit more comfortable on that map. But particularly in the start of last semester, Corrode was brand spanking new. And they allowed it really early into play versus play. So it was, a quick turnaround for figuring out how that map works. But here we are on an oldie but a goodie, and that is Bind. And
I agree. I love some Bind.
Yeah, I really do enjoy this map, especially with the reworks. I think they reworked a long time ago, but still I think those changes have held very well over time. And I actually did speak to ZK1 during the break, and I said, I didn't know you played Clove. When was that a thing? He said, I only play Clove and Omen. Apparently he does not love playing Astra as a
So that's
control
why
player.
they
Yeah.
that's what we heard at the beginning. Yeah, okay, so that's where the, I wouldn't call it hate, but quote unquote hate against Astra came in.
Yeah, so I guess we're going to be seeing him on either Clove or Omen. So that's a predictable pick, but some unpredictable picks that we have is a Chamber. Dun dun dun.
I'm really excited for this Chamber. I know a lot of pro play and VCT has started to adapt to using Chamber on Vine, and it's kind of like a 50-50 chance on whether or not you play it. Why is the X hovering Sage?
Honestly, keep it this way. Just keep it. No, I'm kidding. Actually, he would do well on whatever he plays, but it is going to be the race comfort pick for Bind, as we would expect. But a little bit of inspiration from Rowan's defensive pick being the Waylay for their duelist. So a little bit interesting now they have to work against the Waylay utility that they used to its fullest advantage on Split.
Yeah, I think Waylay is a great agent on this map, just because a lot of the height differences, you can utilize her dash a lot more just to get a little more distance and a little more height. But again, it's the double duelist comp that Rowan is running, so they like to play a lot more aggressive, and I think Unity are going to see this and kind of learn from a lot of their mistakes and what happened last map, just to kind of get a gauge, how fast this game's going to go.
Right. And another thing I was kind of thinking about is the Terps are playing this series on an Illinois server, despite Rowan being from New Jersey, which is on the East Coast.
See that.
So
Yeah.
I wonder, also, I feel like this is a theme amongst competitive play as well. People avoid Virginia servers. I don't know why, but I feel like it's a common thing.
I mean, in my experience, my friend had said, yo, whenever we start playing, we're gonna play in Indiana. We're not playing on Virginia, because there's some crazy people that play on these servers. Like, for example, the Terps.
Yeah, honestly, we have such good ping here to the Northern Virginia server. Maybe it's a little bit disadvantageous for the opposing team, since we have like 6 ping for the Northern Virginia servers.
Yeah.
But ping talk aside, here we are on to a fresh new map. Bind, Terps starting this one off on the attack. They lose Moose early on, and they also lose Yex. That is going to hurt for the rest of the round. Jinho trying to mitigate some of that pain, and he's able to do so effectively with that classic and pulls out that chamber sheriff. Meanwhile, it is just Sind who is left when it's all said and done in a TP. Just kind of hoping he gets pushed to come his way, but not kind of the start that we did want to see here for the Terps.
Yeah, it was just a lot of things being thrown left and right. It was very crucial that Yex should have capitalized on that kill into U-Haul, because that gains so much control over the A site. But it's just the classics. We saw this in last map too. Just the right clicks in the classics, like they're kind of a hit or miss, but when they work, they work. For sure, when you're able to really guarantee yourself a solid right click by just getting right in the face of your opponent, you can do some dangerous things with the classic. The Terps, here they are on their second attack round, this time taking it at a bit more of a relaxed pace here. Still looking towards this A site with 3 defenders all holding kind of a deep line behind box there. So Terps able to easily gain a little bit more traction here. Yex looking to take that same fight he did in Lamps as the round before. This round hopefully he's going to come out on top. Moose having to kind of dodge these players that he's found this deep line all of a sudden up for grabs. And it's just a bloodbath here deep onto this A side. Sin, meanwhile, is going to happily get this bomb down and deal with the rest as it comes. And the Yoru pushes out until Lamp. Sin able to net 2, though, using that boom, or using the nade from Yex as well. Again, great util usage this time coming out of Yex to support Sin. And it was a bit of the opposite on Split. Yeah, I mean, right clicks. That's what happened in U-Haul. I mean, there was a judge sitting in U-Haul. How does that work?
Yeah, the right click, it will either make you or break you, and it looks like the Terps are having a lot of success with it tonight, at least.
Yeah, this is going to put them in a very good spot in terms of money, because look, Jinho already has about 3,700, which means he could buy an attack operator, but it's going to be a 5-man down B long, and it's just going to force Rowan to just back up here. But Yoru is already pushed up into B main.
Oh, an aggressive satchel from Yex with a judge in hand. Can't quite land the first shot, is still hungry for more. And Jinho is going to come up right behind and support Yex there with a stinger. And they're able to just buy themselves enough space here, enough for ZK1 and the crew to try and hold down this this B site here, although they do get 2 picks going against them pretty early here onto the site execution. And here comes the rotate for Rowan. Completely 5-man retaking this. Yex and Moose able to make things work here off site. 1 into elbow, 1 into garden, and Moose just spraying through that smoke, knowing where that bomb is planted. He's managed to dwindle the HP of the Rays. He needs Yex, though, to finish the job and take those close fights with that judge. Yex lands the kill on first player there, but the job is not done. They still have this Yoru to work around, and the bomb needs to just keep on ticking down. The Terps are doing a great job of dwindling down the time, and that is all they'll need to do to win this round.
That was very well played by Moose in his positioning, like being able to reposition on top of the tunnel and get down to backside, get back into the tunnel, and just create like a where is he moment for the Yoru. It was just a really good play by him. I just wanted to point that out. But again, actually going back to Moose, again, like you said during the round, just knowing where the bomb is so crucial to a lot of these rounds. Because had he maybe waited a second, that round would have been over.
And gone are the days of simply pinging the bomb. But here is a really just aggressive fight on the other side of this wall. Sind is able to net himself a kill, and that's all it will be so far. But that was just a lot of aggression from both sides, and doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon, with ZK1 helping Sind out there take full control of Bath. And it looks like this may be an A hit. They have the Sky pushed up pretty aggressively here, and the Yoru with a solid line of sight here onto this entryway from Bath. Meanwhile, they lose Moose in the process, so Terps have to kind of reconsider. I wouldn't be surprised if they booked it to B, but they're going to have to do so right about now if that's going to be the play call.
Well, they might make the smart decision just to stay here. Sin's going to get that tag onto the Sky, but they might just do a full rotate into teleporter, or maybe fight this. The spike is going to try to get planted by ZK1. Yex does get a massive kill on the Yoru. We've seen that Yoru cause so many problems for the Terps, and just having the Yoru out of play now makes it so much easier just to, I mean, not in terms of life advantage, but just in terms of just skill. The Yoru plays fantastically. Jinho gets that kill on the Viper, and Yex finishes it up. Beautiful rounds.
Yeah, and a bit of a very calculated re-hit there. They showed their cards early that round. They really let the opposing team know, hey, like, we are, just so you guys know, like, we are A-site. Like, do with it what you will. And then they kind of stood there for a while, cut noise, reposition towards A main, and they were able to, from there, use their Fate ultimate and just have a full attack there. So really good use of utility, really good use of ultimates in that round.
Yeah, the longevity for how long they stood there was perfectly calculated. They do got to be really careful about U-Haul, though. There's shorties sitting left and right on site.
Oh, and look at this Lamps fight. Again, heavily contested. This time the Terps take it in stride, finding a two-piece there into Lamps. Jinho has really good eyes on this flank T-piece back to safety in the nick of time.
Oh, Moose.
Meanwhile, ZK1's using his ultimate 2v2. Bomb taking down Yex. Half HP as it stands right now, and they have to work around this Yoru ultimate that Yex is certainly aware of at this moment. Yoru's actually going to come out of the ultimate right smack dab in the middle of sight, takes down Sin, and has left Yex in a very uncomfortable position here. He's got to keep that spike ticking. ZK1 throws a smoke to help him out. He has a Phantom in hand. He's going to have to spray through the smoke, uses his ultimate to find the second
kill.
The
3K.
Oh my goodness, Yex, what a clutch from him. And whenever I see these players like stationary after a clutch, I know they're celebrating. Like,
yeah,
in real
hands up in the air, yelling. Like you got to be excited about that. That was a phenomenal clutch, and it was just like, he was so low, 15 HP.
Oh my goodness. That is why he has been such an important piece of this puzzle that we call Terps Esports Co-Ed Valorant for so long. So long he's been a member of this team, and he has earned a spot year after year.
I see a little bit of a switch up from the Terps. Maybe looking towards B site. They do love that A site, but that Sky Flash is going to get some information out.
Yeah, just sending the Roomba up into Hookah. Oh, what a shot.
Unlucky for Yex.
Yeah, really good shot there from that Sky. But that's not going to stop the Terps here, although it may now that ZK1 has died as well, and that Viper wall is making it really difficult for Jinho to help out any up into Garden. So the Terps have a bit of a puzzle to work out here, and they also have to watch out for this flank that's cooking up right behind them. The Yoru might be in a really good position to catch Moose off guard. Moose looking that way, but the timing may not be in his favor. He does hear the TP come through. He knows exactly where the Yoru is. Huge pick for Moose. Terps, though, still have not made much progress here on this site at all. But Moose kind of creeping towards this A site. There may be a rotate coming in order.
Yeah, but there are going to be two players to meet him there, so he's going to be really careful if he's going to try to bring Spike anywhere close to sight. But it looks like it's going to be a Showers push. Sin does trade out Jinho.
Oh, and it's just a tough roll of the die there for the players on that B site. Leaves Moose in a just nearly impossible position here unless he's able to do something crazy, which almost happened. But, you know, it's kind of difficult because the players on B site unfortunately do have to push there to sell B site to help Moose out on A. They didn't know that those two defenders were being really patient on that A site, but you know, Jinho and I believe it was Sin just have no other option there but to just push out a site, see what happens in order for things to hopefully work out with Moose.
Yeah, I mean, it did work to an extent. Moose was almost able to net a kill on the Waylay, which would have helped him out a lot, but I guess the Sky was just camping out in U-Haul for that rotate from Moose, and yeah, just gonna send a Boombot into Hookah. Gets shot at, so that's a little bit of information. They might be playing aggressive. Jinho couldn't net a kill there. There was still such a great off angle.
Oh, and Sin getting picked off early again by this guy who has just caused so many issues for the Terps here onto Bind. It's going to continue to be an issue here in this round, that the Terps do have a decent loadout in hand. They have their guns of choice. ZK1's going to use the Phantom there to get that pick up into Showers and take the space immediately off of that. But, you know, they still have to clear this A site, and they're actually effectively done so through spraying. And now quick TP to B site, but it's a massacre on the other side of this TP. Oh my goodness, the Terps really had a set in stone play call that round, and they executed it.
ZK1 just knew where he was, knew where the Clove was, and just, I mean, that was huge. But leaving Moose back to get the Yoru. The Yoru is, I want to say, one of their best players. I mean, he is top frag for Rowan. But, I mean, anytime you can get that Yoru out of the game, it still puts you in such a good position. For retakes, too, before retakes, because, again, Yoru has a good bit of attack capabilities, or just space capabilities.
And the Terps doing the same thing, really being aggressive here off rip into A main, pushing through that Lamps aggression. ZK1, it's very reminiscent of the last round. Hopefully the outcome will be the same. Rowan does have 3 ultimates to use if they so choose, but not sure if ZK1's even going to give them a chance as he's pushing up. Does get killed by the Bandit. Yetz is there to trade him. Doesn't matter. The bigger picture, though, is the Terps are here on this A site, and they have just been so dominant on the attack so far.
Yeah, they really like flooding that U-Haul with a ton of util. So I want to say they threw a Fade Seize, they threw the metal in there, then the Boombot was going in there for Yex to clean up that kill. And that was just, I felt bad for the Waylay. Like, you can't really do anything there. And you're already down to 1 HP. You can't hear. You have a Boombot that could kill you any second. And probably one of the most feared duelists in this league comes and nabs you. So.
Oh, speaking of the Waylay being an issue, the ultimate gets used early, and these players that Rowan is so confident are posted up into A main. It's going to cost Yex his life. Sind is able to escape, though. So early Waylay action going on, and now both teams 3 ultimates apiece. It's going to come handy later, especially once that bomb is planted. Jinho just using his spidey senses there to try and clear out Garden. Does not work out the best for him as the Terps take a little bit of a breather here before possibly hitting this B site.
All still quiet. Looks like, I think Rowan's just still trying to figure out where the Terps are. They could be, I mean, they are still towards B, but the stack is on A, and they could just be coming. Like, we don't see anything. Last we saw was on B.
Yeah, they're really holding their cards close to their chest here, trying to force the Terps to do something risky. And it's going to have to be that exactly for the play call as the utility comes through for Sin. It's not quite enough to make the fights go in their favor with only ZK1 left alive and a really tall task ahead of him. And the patience and the kind of mysteriousness that the Terps were trying to hold up did not work out for them.
Yeah, it's a very chaotic position for ZK1 in that last little gunfight. I mean, you have players left and right, or everywhere around you, and it's just kind of hard to focus on one. But what do you think? Do we the Terps have to slow this down, speed it up maybe?
I really thought we were successful in the rounds that we were quick onto A main once we do have that gun advantage. I haven't really seen the same success when they're quick onto B, though. So maybe switching up the play call onto A site to be a little bit more slow and unexpected, and to B site to be a little bit more, just switching up how they're playing their sites, maybe. It's maybe becoming predictable for the side of Rowan now. They've done it a couple times. It looks like as they are being slow, they're waiting for those picks to come their way, and it nets Moose a kill. They've neglected Spike for the moment, and I actually like that they're kind of defaulting. They haven't really done this yet. So I think the main idea here is just to switch things up for the Terps.
Yeah, Moose got a huge kill in the Yoru. Jinho missed by a very small sliver, and Sin's going to try to send the Nightfall onto site. They got to be really careful about this Rowan flank.
Yeah, and the Terps just eat up a lot of time waiting for the rest of their team to get up in position. Oh no, Yex! What happened, Yex? The team cannot dwell on it for too long as they have a round to win here. Bomb to plant and site to maintain. So they're going to have to focus their efforts here both on CT, elbow, and up into heaven, where there are two Rowan players just staring down Moose right now. Sin swings and finds the kill. The Clove ultimate, though, is available for Rowan, and they're going to use it. Bloodbath here on this B site. 2v2. Make that a 1v1. And in the end, it will be ZK1 to win that round for the Terps yet again. But oh, what a stressful round.
Yeah. That was a bar. You ever try freestyling?
What? That was a bar? Did I just...
I mean, well, like, oh, I guess you used one twice, but I just heard the rhyme and I was like, it's down to a 1v1 and it all like lines up with ZK1.
Maybe we have a calling. Maybe we have a calling I need to explore. But yeah, huge round for the Terps. ZK1 really great in these clutch positions multiple times, and he's just absolutely putting up a show here on Clove.
Yeah, and they might be going back to their roots with this very aggressive A hit. Like they've used it in the past where they're just really fast, but the clone, I guess, body blocks Yax from getting that kill, but you do get the trade out of there. It's still a life advantage for the Terps. 4v3 right now.
Man, these rounds are so dang chaotic, especially when the Terps really decide to be aggressive and kind of util dump. It is just chaotic in nature, but it always works out for them, as it has in this round here, where Sin is just trying to do his due diligence and clear out lamps, but the rest of his team is busy getting kills, trying to maintain this base, keep that bomb ticking, and they're not being aggressive at all. They're waiting for this push to come through, and the Waylay's gonna actually push right into Moose.
You cannot be doing that.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
a crazy flick.
But the job is not done here. The Sky is still alive, and they have a bomb to defuse. And the Terps are going to play this one really passively here. Sin gonna really technically have a good post plant there to ensure the win. But yeah, what a flick from Moose.
That was, I mean, he had just come out from being blind. Oh my lord. The Waylay was vulnerable, and it was like a little hospital flick. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was insane. That's kind of the only way you can counter Waylay, is to have someone like that who can just flick onto heads. Just no questions asked.
Yeah, we are going to see a mix of, a little trail mix of guns going into this round from Rowan. You know, you got your Judge, you got your Guardian, you got your Hero Rifle, but this Judge could be very dangerous. It gets Yex, it gets 2, no!
My goodness. This Judge, finally Jinho was able to put a stop to it, but wow, did that thing wreak havoc for the Terps attack. The job is not done, though. Terps able to take that Judge down. Moose finds a pick on that sneaky flank that was coming his way, and Rowan has actually used this Yoru ultimate to try and sell out the position of the Terps, and it does just that. Now the defensive side can reposition accordingly. They have eyes on both sides of this TP, so UMD is going to have to get some picks to get themselves out of this pickle. I've actually drawn the Viper out of position, which knowing obviously where the Terps are positioned, not a good play call unless they're trying to wrap around for a quick flank. But the Terps, if they wanted to, could just overwhelm site right now.
I think that's what they might be predicting, is they have the power to overwhelm site. They still have a lot of util to use, so the Viper might just try to be playing for space here and letting the Terps plant. I mean, that showers control is still huge for a post plant, but the Yoru's going to have a pretty hefty TP though, or he's going to have to TP, or it's going to be a flank. So the Terps have to be really, really diligent about keeping track of time and possibly understanding that, or reading there's going to be a flank. I don't know if they have a trip set up. It doesn't look like it.
And I don't think they know what's going on in showers either. They might expect this main push, but from showers, I don't know if anyone is really watching where this Viper is headed. They are able to get the kill on the Yoru, and, you know, Sind will handle the Viper as soon as she works her way onto site. So the Terps are able to get that round easily, but that was, you know, a lot of patience from the Terps into drawing that Viper out of position in order to overwhelm that site.
Yeah, I think it was kind of funny when I, the Yoru fake clone.
I didn't even notice.
I think it was right as he was peeking a main, he decided to throw a fake clone. I respect it. He had 2 shotguns. He had a shorty and a judge. So, I mean, there's not much you can do with that unless you can create some space through a fake clone.
And, you know, fake clones, like, that's something you can only do, like, once in a round, once in a series even.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's always frustrating when that doesn't work out. But good for the Terps that it didn't wreak havoc there. All right, some early aggression back on pistols. Terps have transitioned to the defensive side of the map. And it does look like they're all kind of grouped together here towards central of the map. They've left site completely open, and Rowan has taken full advantage of that. They haven't been able to get the bomb down because they just don't have the numbers going their way. Meanwhile, ZK1 just leaving no corner safe for Rowan to run away in. And the Terps are just trying to hold on to a strong pistol round, but they have this Yoru to go through first, who has found themselves a 3-piece. Jinho with a classic gets the job done on the Yoru, and this has been a very decisive map for the Terps.
That was a very fast round. Looks like the Terps are trying to just go home, you know, just go enjoy their night. Like, actually, I want to point out real quick, because that little pinch onto B long was very smart by them. Because, you know, when they start flooding that site through hookah, the only place for them, for Rowan to try to go through is be long and get a quick teleport. But having ZK1 there just to help stop that, I mean, it got spiked down, so that was already a good thing. Then they just had to clean it up. Jinho is going to get a tag onto the Yoru.
Oh, again,
ZK1 with a judge.
This showers fight round after round.
Another 3K for ZK1. Is he on here for the ace?
Oh my goodness.
Doesn't get the ace, but the 4K.
Oh my gosh. Like, the Terps are just completely just playing with full confidence here in all aspects, on the attack, but even on the defense, where you're supposed to just wait for those pushes to come your way. No, they are being aggressive with the judge, with their positioning, with their util, just all in the face of the Rowan attack, and it has led them to very swift round wins here so far.
Yeah, I feel like the judge, especially on bind, is probably one of the more better defensive weapons that you can have aside from the operator, just because you can hold down U-Haul like that with so much ease.
Oh, and Jinho with the Marshall cannot quite get a kill, but does a lot of damage in the process. Meanwhile, the Terps have kind of given up a little bit of space here. ZK1 again with the judge, just wreaking complete havoc, being a menace, being an absolute menace to Rowan right now.
Sin's going to be a menace, and with this, got a stinger. He is with Moose. It's a 2K for Sin.
Oh my goodness, Sin still has that stinger in hand. I believe he was able to pick up a better gun. Jinho with an outlaw is able to get a kill, pulls out his chamber sheriff there. But all that's left for the Terps is this Yoru, and it's just not going to be an issue with our numbers. And just the level of confidence that we're playing with right now.
Yeah, I mean, like, what if you're Rowan, you don't have too crazy much money to work with. I mean, it's still, you can still buy some util, or some util and guns, but it's like, it's just not much.
And the Terps just want nothing more than to breeze through this last round of the series, potentially.
Sin's gonna bring out the Odin.
Yeah, about that, I really wonder where he's going to, put himself to try
Oh,
and...
no.
Oh, goodness. Okay, a trade early by both sides. That Odin does get down pretty early, unfortunately. And the Terps have kind of almost neglected this main space here on to B side. They're only playing for picks, but it's working out for ZK1. He's able to get an early pick, down spike, uses that fade heal as well, or sorry, that clove heal as well. Oh my goodness.
Jinho, what a beautiful peek out of elbow.
And that is GG's for the Terps. Jinho is already packing up. Business
He's
was
got
taken care
places
of.
to go, or things to do, places to go.
Yeah.
Are you supposed to reverse that? I think you are.
I think it works both ways.
You know what? I'll just leave it the way I said it. I like how I said it too, so.
Yeah, so the Terps, really, really dominant performance here on map number 2. Struggled a little bit on map 1, but they were able to claw their way back to a victory. So strong start to the play versus spring semester, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, I mean, going 1-0 on a pretty decisive victory, like, it's got to feel good.
For sure, and they have to kind of ride that high as they continue their way through this play versus league and through the Big Ten League as well. But we want to thank you all for tuning in today on this Wednesday for Valorant, and we hope to see you all next week for some more Valorant. Thanks. And we also, before we head off the air, do want to thank our sponsors. We would like to thank the Philip Merrill College of Journalism, as well as Recwell, who Esports is housed under, and lastly, Playwire. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week.